I swear I will not kill anyone.
You just can't go around killing people.
Why? Come with me if you want to live.
Okay. All right, we're back. Done with the television shows and all that. So now we're back to the movies. Okay, we're back to normalcy. And all right, this one, you know, it is what it is. But this is Terminator Salvation from 2009. I did watch the director's cut because it's a little better than the regular. The theatrical version was PG-13, and it never hit. Like it's a mess of a movie. Now, the unrated version, not much better. It's still a mess of a movie, but the story is more fleshed out. The story is a little stronger. It's a little more like even paced. Whereas the theatrical version was just like action beat, action beat, action beat, action beat. Don't worry about the story, stuff like that. But this is all right. So the theatrical version made it a little better, but it's still not a great movie. Your director here is Mick G. He's more known for doing music, music videos and stuff like that. But the horror family, you guys will know him as a director of Babysitter 1 and 2, which were phenomenal movies. They were fantastic, fun little horror movies. I really enjoyed those. Danny Elfman actually does the music for this movie, which is kind of odd. But at the same time, you know, there is a little link to Danny Elfman here. Written by the people who wrote the two people who wrote Terminator 3, Brancato and Ferris. They wrote 3, and they also wrote the game and all that. I covered that in Terminator 3. So same guys. Your cast, weirdly good. You have John Connor, played by Christian Bale. Of course, you know him as Batman and The Machinist. He's been in a ton of movies. He's a phenomenal actor. This is the movie that has that did the infamous meltdown where he goes at the lighting people. This caused Christian Bale to lose a lot of fans and make him look like a prima donna. And honestly, I'll be that devil's advocate and say, like, yeah, it wasn't cool that he did that. It really was like a mean thing to do, and it showed that he could be a prima donna. But the thing is, this is just in his defense. I'm not saying it's okay that he went at these people and screamed at them the way he did and used the language that he did. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm simply saying that Christian Bale is a perfectionist, and when he does a movie, he does it to perfection. And when these guys actually did mess up the scene, that's why he had his meltdown, because it ruined his perfection. But I digress. Maybe not, go at someone like that. Next, Marcus, played by Sam Worthington. Sam Worthington, he's an action star. He's not a widely known like Oscar winner or nothing like that. He's good in this role, and he plays a really cool role in this. Kyle Reese, played by Anton Yelchin. I have a love for Anton Yelchin. He's a phenomenal actor. He was in the new Star Trek movies, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, as everyone knows. He's also been in just a ton of movies that are really good. He played Chekhov in the Star Trek, but here he plays Kyle Reese, a very young Kyle Reese, where John Connor finally meets Kyle Reese. John Connor's in his 30s. Kyle Reese is a teenager in this, so it's very strange. We have Blair Williams, played by Moon Bloodgood. She's not super widely known. She was in 4400, several other TV shows, but here she plays a pretty good role, kind of a small role. That's okay. And your honorable mentions, and there's a lot of honorable mentions here. Kate Brewster, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. Kate Brewster was John Connor's love interest in Terminator 3. They are now married, and she is pregnant in this. But played by the wonderful Bryce Dallas Howard. That's Opie's daughter. Also, phenomenal actress. We have Burns, played by Common. My people know that I'm not a huge rap fan, but I like Common. Common is a great actor, but he also has rap with meaning. It's not just senseless money, 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 women, 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 drugs. All his stuff has a message. So I like that. We have Dr. Kogan, played by Helena Bonham Carter. There's your Danny Elfman. There's your Danny Elfman link. It's weird seeing her without Tim Burton attached, but no Tim Burton. There's your Helena Bonham Carter. Cool. And then General Ashton, is Michael Ironside. He was in a lot of 80s movies. Very, very cool. Very awesome little actor. And this is a really good cast, but it shows that a good cast is not a good movie make. It's a disappointing movie. That's okay. Some fun facts here. Linda Hamilton is in this movie. She is the voice when John Connor is listening to her tapes that she made. You remember in Terminator 1 where she's speaking into the tape deck? He's listening to these tapes, and they did not reuse these tapes. They actually went ahead and had her re-record them. That's why they're a little different. So she re-recorded these, and it's her, but she is uncredited. She's not actually in the credits or anything. It's just Linda Hamilton. And James Cameron did have some consulting in this movie. In fact, he is the one that told them to hire Sam Worthington. So James Cameron had something to do with this movie, just not credited. The thing is when this movie was originally conceived, I guess, conceptualized, the script was much different. John Connor actually didn't show up in the script until the middle of the movie, and this movie was more about Marcus, and Christian Bale was originally the person to play Marcus. So we were going to have a Marcus movie with John Connor showing up, but when Christian Bale read the script, he's like, yeah, but the John Connor character is more compelling to me. I want to be John Connor. So they recasted Christian Bale as John Connor and Sam Worthington as Marcus. And that actually changed the script because the movie became less about Marcus and more about John Connor. And I think that is one of the reasons why this movie is such a mess. Because the one thing about this movie is there really is no plot. There's no real story here. But Christopher Nolan also had something to do with this movie. Christopher Nolan came in to clean up the script and make everything, kind of write some things in there. Christian Bale was like, hey, let's get Christopher Nolan in here. Christopher kind of fixed everything up. The problem was the writer's strike happened right as soon as that was going on, and it never happened. So nothing that Christopher Nolan wrote is in the movie. And there was a leaked ending. The ending was leaked, and McG decided that he was going to really mess with people because he was going to write an ending. But first, there was another. The ending that was written, that was leaked, was that John Connor dies. And at the end of the movie, they give his skin to Marcus. Marcus is actually a Terminator in this. They give his skin, or a cyborg. They give his skin to Marcus, and Marcus becomes John Connor, and he keeps the legend alive. Even though John Connor's dead, John Connor's still alive through Marcus. But that ending leaked, so they didn't do it. Instead, McG got really mad and said that he was going to change the ending, because at the end of the movie, here's some spoilers, sorry. At the end of the movie, John Connor is stabbed through the heart, and he needs a new heart to live. Marcus gives him his heart. And by giving him his heart in the original bad ending, Skynet takes over John Connor, and John Connor kills the Resistance. That was going to be the ending to this movie. But they wanted sequels. So they went with the ending where John Connor gets the new heart and survives. But the weird part about that is it's a happy ending. We see Kyle Reese, everything's okay, and there were supposed to be 2 more of these movies, with the third one ending with Kyle being sent back. And it never happened. So, because this movie was critically panned, the audiences hated it, and it didn't do really great in theaters. But other than that, there you go. So, now, this movie is very odd because it starts out and you're basically getting the speech at the beginning of Terminator 2. Too many lives were lost on this day. But they faced a new threat, Judgment Day, or they faced a new threat, the war against the machines, stuff like that. You get that, but it's written out on the screen. And this takes place in 2018 with, there are going to be the wars going on, the war against the machines going on, and they do talk about how John Connor is not seen as the leader of the human resistance. He's seen as a false prophet. Like, some people don't even believe he exists. And John is not the leader of the human resistance in this. He's actually just a soldier. But people, he is a legend, and people are starting to follow him. So we're seeing the rise of John Connor, because in a lot of movies you see John Connor, scar and all, about and he is automatically the leader. It's almost like Judgment Day happens and he pops out of the bunker like, I'm the leader, y'all, screw you, I'm the leader. Even though no one knows who the hell he is. And it's like, that's what it is. But in this one, he's not. He has to work up the ranks. And he does. This is the rise of John Connor. Terry Crews is in this. He plays a dead body. At the very beginning of the movie, they're searching for intelligence on the cyborgs. Pops out, and Terry Crews is sitting there dead. First time I've noticed he's in this movie was last night. I was like, that's Terry Crews, and he plays Common's brother. I'm like, how about them apples? So that's pretty cool. First chef's kiss moment is when Marcus, Kyle, and the little girl are starting the Jeep for the first time, and the first thing that happens is Alice in Chains' rooster. Chef's kiss moment, because I love Alice in Chains. Yeah. Oh yeah. They found a way to kill me, yeah. Classic. Love that song. Yes, and it's a good moment, but it was also used to show you that the Terminators are attracted to sound. They hear a lot of sound, they're bouncing on it. And it does come into play later in the movie. But it's quickly kind of shot down, because this is some of the clunkiest dialogue I've ever heard. It's just, it doesn't feel like real dialogue. It doesn't feel like something that people would actually say. So I'm like, kind of turns me off. We do meet the young Kyle Reese and all that, but through this whole thing, I don't know what the plot is. And another problem was there's no true antagonist. The antagonist is Skynet. It's just all the robots, and there's a lot of advanced machinery. The hunter killers are here. That's the big planes. But there's also gigantic human farming machines that pick up the humans, like grip the humans and then throw them into a thing for slavery or something, and it's really strange. But other than that, it's this plot is, I guess, this new guy Marcus is just traipsing through. John Connor's looking for some intelligence. Kyle Reese is there, and then there is kind of a plot near the middle of the movie. The middle of the movie, when Kyle Reese gets taken, and Marcus is going to get Kyle Reese back, and he's going to recruit John Connor to help him out, because he's heard of this legend John Connor, and it's that's kind of the plot, is getting Kyle back. So there's no the plot is the war. So it's I don't know. It was this it kind of threw me out of the movie because I'm like, what are we supposed to be rooting for here? What are we supposed to be caring about? No. But it does lead to another chef's kiss moment, and this is weird. I usually have 5 chef's kiss moments. I only have 4 in this one. I couldn't find a 5th one. But here's a chef's kiss moment, and it's when Marcus is actually taken out. He goes through a minefield, and a mine attaches to him, and they find the next time you see Marcus, he's chained up, and you're like, whoa, why is he chained up? What the hell, man? He's trying to help y'all. And then they just keep going. He doesn't even realize it. He doesn't even know. Even John's like, he thinks he's human. And everyone like, wait, thinks he's human. And the camera pans back to a big hole in his chest. And you see an exoskeleton underneath. And you're like, oh, Marcus is a freaking Terminator. He's like, but he's not really a Terminator. He's a cyborg. And you're like, oh, Marcus is a cyborg. It's crazy. Oh, whoa, And that's the reveal was really cool because he's like, they have him chained up, and John like looks at him. He's like, he really doesn't know, and he like unhooks his head so he can look down, and he looks down, and he just like, no. He's like, no, it's not true, kind of thing. Cool reveal. Another chef's kiss moment is when they finally decide they're going to go get Kyle out of there. Marcus escapes, and John lets him. He's like, oh, well, he might be cool. And he uses Guns N' Roses to attract. He uses music, Guns N' Roses, to attract the Terminators, and he's using "You Could Be Mine," which was kind of a theme of Terminator 2. They listened to "You Could Be Mine" on the way to the mall. Him and John and his little buddy. So. Very cool that they used that. Chef's kiss moment. Love you. Awesome. But there's also things that kind of destroy this, like the really bad CGI Arnold. Really bad. I mean, it's terrible. Like, he looks horrible. He looks like he's an animated character. And I'm like, once again, threw me out of the movie. I'm like, this is supposed to be dangerous. But they quickly blow the skin off of him to where he's just an exoskeleton. It's like, okay. And Marcus and him fight, which is a pretty cool fight. But like I said, there's no real antagonist here. You kind of get a sort of a plot reveal like in the middle of the movie, and I'm going ahead and spoil it for you, but also it may not be a spoiler because a lot of people don't catch it. When Helena Bonham Carter is explaining to Marcus what's going on, and she's like, we knew you could do it. All you had to do was get John Connor's attention and bring him home and bring him to Skynet. So the whole thing was he got Kyle Reese, because in the beginning of the movie you see a list. There's like, yeah, we found a list of names in the Skynet's computer of people who are up for termination, and you're number 2. John Connor, you're number 2. And he's like, well, then who's number 1? He's like, Kyle Reese. I'm like, what? Because Kyle Reese is the beginning of it all. And so they capture Kyle Reese, and so the whole time the computer had Marcus bringing them to him. But it's really weak. It's a really weak thing. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm going to go ahead and do the 5th. I'm going to make a 5th chef's kiss right here. Chef's kiss moment. We find out how John Connor gets his scar. And it is the Arnold exoskeleton. He basically pours molten lava all over him and then freezes him, and it like causes him to go but not enough time for him to get to. He scratches John Connor's face, and it causes the scar. I'm gonna call that a chef's kiss moment just because it's a throwback to earlier. He has a scar now. Chef's kiss moment. Good job. But the other chef's kiss moment is the fight between Marcus and the exoskeleton that was the T-800. They're fighting, and he like shoves the Terminator shoves a pole through John Connor's back and through his heart, and Marcus looks at him, pulls the pole out, shoves it into the Terminator's neck, and then twists it, and the freaking head pops off. It's a cool moment. I like it. Chef's kiss. They do have the heart swap at the end, and it's like it's crazy. So it's good stuff. Yeah. But the very ending of this movie, during the credit scene, there is a Stan Winston dedication. Stan Winston dedication was it's really cool because Stan Winston was a huge like he did a lot of practical effects and he did a lot of puppetry and a lot of other stuff. It was very, very cool the way he used to do it. And this was his very last movie. This was Stan Winston's very last movie. Stan Winston worked on so many movies, man. He worked on The Thing, and he did the puppetry for The Thing, which is awesome. And that was the last time we saw this was the last time we see Stan Winston, and Stan Winston did a lot of cool stuff. So they did dedicate the movie to Stan Winston, which is cool. So it's like, but the movie, I'm already done going through the movie, because it really did not impress me. So this movie gets 6.5 out of 10. This is the worst thing I've watched, including the television series. It's just the fact that there's no plot to it. There's really nothing to it. It's just like, I mean, it's crazy, but that's okay. It's the cast, which is kind of sad because the cast itself is crazy good. I mean, Sam Worthington, Christian Bale, Anton Yelchin, all of them just killer cast. But the writing on this was bad. But I mean, you could attribute it to the writer's strike. You could easily attribute this to the writer's strike, and that's okay. So, but 6.5 out of 10. No plot. Acting was not so great. But next up, I've only seen the movie once, and it's because when I watched it, I hated this movie. I watched it I watched it in theaters, of course. That's the last time I saw it, so that tells you how long ago that was. And was just blown away by how bad the movie was. It's confusing. But it's Terminator Genisys. We'll be doing Terminator Genisys next. This is a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger says is the true Terminator 3. Okay. I just don't get it. And I love Game of Thrones. I love Daenerys Targaryen. She's great. But as Sarah Connor, dude, she's terrible. She is so bad as Sarah Connor. She's not believable as badass Sarah Connor. She's no. Arnold Schwarzenegger's cool in it. That's fine. But other than that, whatever. So, but that's it. That's next. Terminator Genisys. And then after that, we have Terminator Dark Fate. And that's the end. So I have to start looking for the next thing. We'll see. All right, but thank you for watching again. DC Covers. We did Terminator Salvation. Hopefully you'll join me for Terminator Genisys, and maybe I can come up with some funny crap for that, because it's not good, man. It's not good at all. Join me for that one.